Your operating model rethink when it comes to AI has to be AI first, not treating AI just like another technology project. So one of the things I see and read about quite a lot is far too many people are still thinking of AI like just another IT project. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why that mindset or way of thinking essentially puts at risk most of the benefits of the leverage you can get from AI tools and how they can help us do things better, faster, and cheaper. My experience in the corporate world across project and change management taught me that people are the reason why things work or don't work. And what we're seeing with AI is that a lot of the pushback and a lot of people talking about AI projects not working, not delivering a return on spend, or not helping you achieve your business objectives come down to a lot of the change management being skipped over. Far too many leaders have rolled out AI licenses to ChatGPT or Copilot and think that their people are going to magically transform all of their workflows into beautiful agentic automated workflows and help you take out all of that cost and complexity. So you start realizing benefits and it looks like there's a really good return on your AI spend. The world doesn't work that way though. So what AI projects actually need to do is think a lot more carefully about how do I take the problems that I have in my business across people, processes, and systems and use AI to first help me find the highest return things to fix and then use the power of AI to accelerate that analysis and design phase so that what you end up coming up with in terms of the use cases you're building, testing, and deploying to a production system actually have the sort of commercial impact that justifies the spend and disruption. AI isn't a magical silver bullet, and I think it doesn't help that part of the marketing side of AI has gotten completely carried away. So a lot of companies, when they actually use AI to help understand their systems, understand their processes, understand all of these things that are happening in their business, what they're going to uncover is that the blockers, the things that are slowing them down, the things that are stopping the project from delivering are things that are to do with technology and data governance decisions made years ago. So to actually realize the benefits from AI, they first need to go back and clean up their data, simplify their systems architecture, set up the right connectivity and cybersecurity settings in their environment. Maybe they even need to think carefully about how some of their products and services are configured in their product and service catalog. Are they doing things which require far too much manual effort? Are they doing things where systems can't actually support the features that customers expect? So you need to invest even more to be able to get the benefits out. There used to be this digital transformation phase that was happening a few years ago, and I feel like a lot of companies have not done that properly. And we know that that's the case whenever we use a website, a mobile app, or have a customer service interaction, and it sucks and it feels like you're living in the past. That's a symptom of a company that hasn't taken technology seriously. And it's companies like that where, ironically, the most return on AI investment will come from, but also these companies will require the most fix-up and repair work done before they can really get the leverage out of AI agents. So their first best use of AI in their business might not be automating a workflow, it might be automating deep dives to understand where the misconfigurations are in their systems, where the process inefficiencies are, where a lot of the costs are sitting in handoffs between teams that you can remove and simplify by thinking about teams that deal with end-to-end deliverables instead of having little handoffs via email and Teams messages every couple of days to get something out the door in the form of a work product. All of this stuff, I think, is, again, not helped by a lot of the rhetoric and the marketing that's happening around AI. When you think about the companies in Silicon Valley that are getting the highest leverage out of these tools now, a lot of them are starting from scratch. They don't have decades of legacy technology, infrastructure, and people with bolted-on mindsets about how we do things around here. When the big consulting firms tell you that change management is one of the biggest blockers to AI transformation, you should listen, because a lot of people in the tech industry don't understand that there are so many process and people issues that you need to deal with even if you're rolling out the best technology, purely because people are people. They're scared of change. They want to do the things that they have always done the way they've always done them. So all of these things saying that change management is important is because people are resistant to change. And one of the reasons why they're resistant to change is if they can't see where they fit in the future state, where they benefit from AI personally, where they're not just training their replacement or setting themselves up to be made redundant. They're not going to buy in and help you identify those use cases at the coalface of your business that will actually deliver you the results. And I've been writing on my newsletter, Getting AI to Work, for a while now, that AI isn't really a technology problem anymore. And in some sense, it never really was. It's a people problem where you need people who are curious, who want to look at the problems they face on a daily basis, map these out, and then in a structured problem-solving way, identify how AI can help them do things better, faster, and cheaper. So all of the blocking points, all of the handoffs, all of the things where people are having to do manual repetitive things, or exercise a low level of judgment inside given parameters. So many things can be improved through careful, considered, well-tested application of AI in business. And this is much more complex than just asking ChatGPT to generate you a more efficient process map. That's not how any of this is going to work. A lot of this, I think, is much more complex than a lot of the digital transformation things of the past, because in the AI era, it's a total operating model rethink. Every single step of every single process could potentially be streamlined, removed, or improved with the help of AI. And not enough people are thinking about it in this way. Far too many leaders think that rolling out ChatGPT and Copilot licenses so people can access AI as like an augmented web search capability and Google replacement counts as doing AI. I'm sorry, you are not doing AI if that's what you've done. The same goes if you think that transformation in the AI era means outsourcing or offshoring. The reality is operating model simplification, the removal of complexity, is what you want. The importance of context is even more critical, especially as we've learned of some of the cybersecurity incidents over the last few weeks that more advanced models are involved in. Why would you want to be outsourcing and offshoring and losing access to context in an environment of ever-increasing cyber risk? My take and one of my predictions is that over the next few years, companies that went down this path will find they don't have access and don't have sufficient control over their entire operating model because they relied too much on outsourcing and offshoring components of how they deliver value, which means when they try and do their AI transformation, they are limited by the speed of the slowest part of their operating model. If your vendor, if your software provider, if your offshore business processing outsourcer is not AI first and delivering you radically cheaper pricing at a higher level of quality because they're leveraging AI properly in your business, you are hitting a speed limit. Why would you want to be doing that? And I think this way of thinking is still novel. A lot of people haven't come around to it, but based on the research and based on my own corporate experience and the work I've done, I think this is where a lot of things are going to land over the next few years, where we've had this trend of people offshoring and outsourcing and thinking that they can do automation in that manner. And what they're going to learn is, with the leverage of AI tools, the ability to build the solutions you need for your business with exactly what you want is going to be in much higher demand. So there's going to be this need for very skilled AI native people who are almost like forward deployed engineers to help businesses build this out and implement all of these projects. If this sort of thing is something you're interested in reading more of, hit that subscribe link, drop a comment below. What do you think AI means for operating model redesign? I look forward to hearing from you.